Hi guys. Hi guys. This is Yinka, and I know we'll be having a session later tonight. So I wanted to show you guys how to install Git on your system because since we'll be dealing with Git, it's important that you have Git on your system so you can play along and maybe just follow along the session. So I'll just quickly show you. I currently use a MacBook, so that means I'm sure that most of you are running on Windows operating system. So I installed a VirtualBox, so I'm able to use Windows. So meanwhile, I'm just going to go to the GitHub website, which is sorry, my bad. Okay, so gitscm.com, and yeah, I'd like you to just install Git. Um, because we'll be using it basically for the session. So when you get to Git, obviously the Git website will automatically detect your operating system. And as you can see, it's detected and run on Windows here. So you just click on the download for Windows. So this is going to be a pretty short recording session basically, because well, I'm not going to be doing much. I just want to show you how to set up Git on your system. So just follow along, get running in the system, and we'll be, playing along with the Git Bash system later in the session tonight. So I'm just gonna wait for. I'm not sure why this is very slow. It shouldn't be though. Well, my internet is working well. I'm surprised that this is taking forever to download. Well, in any case, I'm gonna pause the video so that the video is not too long. I'm gonna pause it and just wait for this download to finish, and I'll restart when the download is ready. Okay guys, well the download is ready, so I'm just gonna go ahead and install, and I'd like to follow along so you can have Git properly installed on your Windows machine. So I'm gonna open the setup file. Sorry, you know, open the setup file, and I'll just go ahead with installation, and this should pretty much work for all versions of Windows. That includes version 10, 8.1, 8, and hopefully 7. But the support 7 is stopped, I believe. So I would recommend that you start using at least your minimum Windows version should be from um, 8.1. So, anyways, we'll just go next on this. Leave the installation path as is and go on next. And of course, I'd like to have this installed on my desktop, but it's a matter of choice. You can choose not to. So I want to add a Git Bash profile to my Windows terminal, or maybe not. Just take that out. We'll just, for the most part, just go with the default settings and then Git, of course. This one, for most Windows users, you probably don't have a Vim on your computer, but I suppose that most Windows users that are already programming or familiar with programming, I believe that you might already have a Visual Studio Code, which is a very good text editor, or a lightweight IDE, as you, I mean, maybe. Well, you could go ahead if you don't already have this Visual Studio Code, but I don't have it also on my system, so you can see if you already have it, then this will be there. But well, looks like I have to install that. So I am just gonna pause. Well, you can click here first. Click here just to make sure that the download links comes up. So it goes to the Visual Studio Code website, and you can do your download there. So you see, you can download the Visual Studio Code for Windows. Um, it's taking a bit longer. Well, anyways, you just I'm gonna pause the video. So you click on the it's clickable now. Okay, so I believe that should run in a few seconds. Okay, so it's downloading already. So I'm gonna pause the video again and wait for this Visual Studio Code to finish downloading, and I'll come back when that's done. Okay, well I'm back. The Visual Studio Code setup is done downloading. So you can see I've already had two downloads: the Git package and the Visual Studio Code. So I'm just gonna minimize this and probably cancel this and restart once I'm done with the installation of the Visual Studio Code. Okay. All right, so just go ahead and click the default. I agree, accept, next. Okay, next. Well, you can choose to, I want to add this open code, which is actually very useful. Okay, so I'll wait for that to finish installing. So like I said, Visual Studio Code is a text editor, or you could say a lightweight IDE, which stands for Integrated Development Environment. And so you could use this to, write your programs in whatever language. It is very lightweight, and that means that you can. It's not eating up a lot of memory, and it's not eating up a lot of space on your computer. Um, Visual Studio is highly recommended. I use it in my everyday task. I've been using it for years, and it's one of the best tools that or best editors I've used uh, for a while. I've tried out a couple of others like Atom, Sublime Text, and all that. So I'm not going to launch this, and I'll just finish that. So pretty much that's done with installation of Visual Studio. And as you can see on the desktop, it's already installed. So I'll get back to Git again, and this time everything should be fine. So again, next. I want to have this on my desktop, and then next. So here, not using Vim, I'll be using Visual Studio Code, and then next. So I want to use this actually. Uh, the default for Git, the default branch for Git is master, but these days Git even advises that you try and switch the default branch into a main branch. So I will select this and I'll use next. For this one though, I guess in order not to make this video very long, I'll probably explain that later in the session why I chose some of these options. I'll just go with the recommended one here. Go with this. Yes, just to open SSL library. For these, I want to use the checkout window style and Unix line endings. That's definitely okay. Yes, I'll be using Minty. Default, yeah, leave this as is. Git credentials, well, if you want your Git logins to be saved, which I would recommend anyways. Enable file system, yeah, leave that as is. For this one, leave it as is also. And then just click install and it should be ready to go. So wait for the installation to finish and Git should be properly installed in the system. Meanwhile, I'll just pause the video again because I don't want it to be very long, and I'll resume the video once the installation is done. So the installation is done. I will check this, and I'll just leave that as is and check the finish. So here you can see that Git bash is already Git is already installed, and then Git bash is saved. The icon is saved on my desktop. It's the shortcut icon. Meanwhile, the reason why we're using Git bash is because Git is originally built and works very well, with Linux. So that means we want to have this Linux feel on our Windows computer, which is why we won't be using the command prompt. But with the installation of Git, it means that we now have access to the Git command on our command prompt on Windows, as well as also on the Linux. On the Git bash, on the Git bash really giving us the Linux. So here I can say Git. And when you do this and you can see all these commands, it means that Git's already installed in the system. So I'll close on the command prompt and then I can open the Git bash. And this is what we'll be using for tonight's session, which also gives us the whole Linux feel. So I'll do Git, and you can see Git is also installed on the Git bash. So this will end this will mark the end of the video. I'll post it up on the YouTube, and I hope that you guys will get installed in your system and your machines before tonight's session. Yeah, have a nice day, I guess.